Hi, I'm Mike Field.
I'm Mike Butler.
And you're listening to the Forgotten Cinema Generic Ad.
Join us every Wednesday as we talk about films that seem to be forgotten by audiences, whether it be because a more popular movie was released at the same time or the film simply didn't catch on with an audience in its initial run. We'll discuss what we love about the film, maybe don't love about it, but we'll always recommend you revisit it. You never know, you might find your own forgotten gem. Forgotten Cinema is available wherever you get your podcasts or at ForgottenCinemaPodcast.com or ForgottenEntertainment.com, as we are a proud part of the Forgotten Entertainment family.
I swear I talk more in the episodes.
Hello, and welcome to Recent Activity, your new favorite entertainment review podcast that attempts to cover every film, every show, all at once. I am your co-host, Andrew Morgan. With me, as always, are my own little cocaine cubs, Shane Beauregard.
What's up?
And Chris Brodell.
I'm so excited, guys. I'm so excited.
Thank you, Jesse Spano. Wasn't that caffeine pills?
Yep.
No? Yeah. Close enough.
Same thing, man. Same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Exactly. No better time to cover this movie, as large sheets of white powder will be falling from the sky here in New England momentarily, but more of the snowfall variety, we hope, instead of bricks and bricks of cocaine, which we will cover in this review of the number 2 movie. That's right, number 2 movie at the box office over the weekend, only losing to a Marvel movie in its second week by $9 million domestically. I, of course, am talking about Cocaine Bear, the new movie from director Elizabeth Banks, starring Kerry Russell, Alden Ehrenreich, O'Shea Jackson, Isaiah Whitlock, Margot Martindale, Scott Sykes, Matthew Rhys, in a very fun, small role in the beginning, and, of course, the last movie from the recently deceased star Ray Liotta. This movie was an experience for me. I'm curious to know your guys' experience at the movie theater, because for me, it was packed. And every showing that I looked for to try to get tickets, it was pretty well packed. They didn't have it's not like a Marvel movie where they have multiple showings playing around the same time. It was kind of, still just one or two houses, nothing too crazy, but it was packed up. And it was ruckus filled with younger crowd, with people clearly bent a little bit. And I know that how bent they were by the fact that somebody vomited as I exited the theater the night I went to go see it.
Lovely.
Yeah. So what was your guys' experience? Shane, I'll start with you. When did you see it? And was it similar to that? Was it packed out? Any of that?
Here's the thing. I went to the opening day show Thursday, but I went to the 5:00 show.
Jealous.
Which is normally 2 hours earlier than they would. The first showing is usually 7:00 on a Thursday.
Yeah.
So I was expecting nobody in the theater, for Thursday 5:00. Much to my surprise, it was about half full, and I was shocked.
Yeah.
And as we're watching this thing, you could just feel the energy in the theater. There was laughter. There were some comments you're watching a horror movie almost. There's laughter. I mean, it just was it is a horror movie, though. Yeah. But everyone's having a good time, So when the credits rolled, curiosity got me because I kind of sit not in the front, but more towards the front than the back.
Yeah.
I kind of got up and looked around, and I would honestly say the demographic for this showing was 50 to 70 years old.
Wow.
There were old people in this movie having a good time. No young people were really in this movie at watching it. There was my age, a couple 30-year-olds, but mainly just older and older demographic, which really surprised me with this movie.
Well, I mean, you got two things going towards that way. It's based on, inspired by at least a true event from 1985. So, some people are like, I remember that story, and then went to go see the movie thinking, it was going to be this true-to-life event or something, maybe. But that, 1985, we're talking, 37, 38 years ago. So that's insane to think about. So if you're 50, you're like, oh, as a teenager, I heard about the Cocaine Bear or whatever, Pablo Escobar, as I've seen it listed in different places. So there's that. And then also, man, just have a good ass time. You know, this
Right.
is a no thinking type of movie. And it's funny. You're familiar with Scott Seiss, who was the ambulance responder with the mustache, the younger guy.
Yeah.
So he has like a kind of a presence on TikTok, you know, and all the like Instagram, all those with the reels and everything. And he was the guy who did like the, you know, he would give like the real response to like, say, customers in a retail store who are like looking for something, giving attitude, and then he gives it right back. So like he has all these little videos that, you know, he uses this like doom music with. It's very fun. And I saw today that he had one of those videos, but he was talking about Cocaine Bear because obviously he's in it. And he was like, here's 5 things you need to know before you go see Cocaine Bear. And then the music comes on and he goes, you don't need to know shit before you go see Cocaine Bear. You need to know that cocaine existed and that bears exist, and just fucking go see it. You didn't have to read a comic book from 1978. You didn't have to, you know, you didn't see Cocaine Bear in the stinger from the movie before. It's like you just have to go and know that this is going to be a good ass time. So I liked that he used like kind of his usual thing to promote the movie too. And the promotion is actually one of the best things about this whole experience. And we'll get into that in a little bit. Chris, how was your viewing experience?
So it's interesting because when Melanie and I went to see it,
you went on the
we thought
Sabbath,
we were gonna,
right?
Yeah, we went yesterday.
Yeah.
As of recording, we went on a Sunday.
Yeah.
So we had gone first showing at 1:00, and when we went into the theater, we were the only ones in there.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh wow, we have the whole theater to ourselves. Awesome.
Yeah.
But then slowly people start trickling in. The first couple that came in were 2 older women who I wasn't sure if they were in the right theater, because one of them said, what's this Cocaine Bear about?
Oh, boy.
And the other one was like, well, Maureen told me about it and she wanted to see it. That was their basis of going to it. I'm like,
right.
So you heard from another person to go to a movie that person's not at.
Hilarious.
And you have no idea what this is about.
Yeah. We were at the PTA meeting, and they were all just talking about this Cocaine Bear. And we were like, I know Smokey the Bear, so it can't be too far off.
He makes an appearance in this.
He does.
So, I thought that was going to be our only company throughout the whole movie. But then people started trickling in, and it was an older crowd. It was maybe a couple of younger people. It wasn't a packed house, but there was a good amount of people.
Yeah.
And on your end, Andrew, I think Melanie and I were the loudest ones in the theater. We were the most responsive to what was going on screen. And we're like, are we the only ones that are reacting?
Right.
But we were just being goofy selves, watching a movie that, is about a bear on cocaine.
Yeah. And for anyone who doesn't know, we kind of like jumped right in a little bit. The plot of this movie, if you're unfamiliar and you're just kind of checking in, I mean, we'll probably get very spoilery pretty quick. So, if you haven't seen it, I recommend you go see it and come back and then listen to what we're going to say on the movie. The movie's about an oddball group of cops, criminals, tourists, and teens converging on a Georgia forest where a huge black bear goes on a murderous rampage after unintentionally ingesting cocaine. Like we said before, it's inspired in part by a true event in 1985 when a corrupt Kentucky cop and lawyer turned drug smuggler Andrew Thornton flew in a smuggling run, dumping packages of cocaine over Georgia before attempting to escape with nearly 80 pounds of it strapped to his body. However, the parachute malfunctioned, as you see all this in the opening scenes in the movie with Matthew Rhys. Wild selection to get Matthew Rhys to just be this guy, to just jump out of an airplane strapped full of cocaine. But yeah, it ends up obviously all over this forest. Unfortunately, in real life, the black bear who overdose, most likely within minutes, died of like a cerebral hemorrhage and respiratory and heart failure, and ate $20 million worth of cocaine. And right now, if anyone wants to go on a road trip, the real Cocaine Bear which has been referred to in a joking manner as Pablo Escobar, is on display in Lexington, Kentucky at the Kentucky for Kentucky Fun Mall, saying that it was previously owned by Waylon Jennings. I find that to be hilarious. So yeah, if you guys want to go check out the real, Cocaine Bear, go for a road trip, only into the middle of the country, that's fine by me. I've been to Kentucky before. Could be a good old time. But let's get into the movie, guys. Well, I'll go back to Shane here. This is more of a Shane movie, and we've talked about this for weeks, saying that this was more in line with the Shane repertoire, And in fact, all of Dumpuary seems to be very much like, we're going to release this movie. Let's see what Shane thinks. Because, Universal alone released Cocaine Bear. It released Megan, Violent Night, all within like this short span. And all these like wildly violent movies, premise heavy, kind of, this B-movie type feel. And yet they were wildly successful. And obviously we went over the box office. So Shane, as this is geared directly towards you, what'd you think of the movie, bud?
I'll just say my pants were tight throughout the entire movie. Boom.
Okay.
Like just right in my wheelhouse this movie is, as you guys know. And keep pumping them out in Dumpuary and any month you want to call it, I'm eating this shit with a spoon. Like this movie, again, we alluded to, it was so much fun. It was a good time. And what I think makes these kind of movies work, well, especially this movie, but we'll get into some other B movies, is the cast. It has a pretty good cast.
Yeah.
That gets attached to these movies. And I'll say Elizabeth Banks knew what movie she was working with, and she leaned into it just enough. And I thought they played to the strengths of this type of movie. It was so much fun. Like, it was a good time. And I would tell some people at work and some people I know who remain nameless, I'll tell them, hey, I'm going to go see Cocaine Bear. And they'd be like, oh, that looks like the stupidest movie I've ever seen. And my natural response was like, we are the stupidest person I've ever known. But no, in all seriousness, it's like, just give yourself a chance to just go and check it out and have a good time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just go. And I think you will. And the runtime was perfect. It was an hour and a half long. I loved pretty much every storyline except for the Han Solo character. I didn't care much for him in this movie. Mm-hmm. I thought the kids were great. I thought when they were trying to coke at the beginning, and that little at the end, the little line the kid said about having to go to rehab, stuff like that. I thought it was great, and yes, it does have some violent parts in it, but I didn't think it was over the top violent. I really didn't. So overall, I had a good. Yeah, you saw some limbs and stuff, but again, to me, it was like more cartoony than it was like a horror film kind of slasher film. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Almost like a Tarantino kind of violence, like it's goofy over the top, because you're going to get that in this type of movie.
Yeah, so, except obviously with a CGI bear, at times, like it really, it took me out a little bit. I understand they can't really fully do the bear experience without it the way they did it, but at the same time, sometimes it really made me wish for like, there was that horror movie Grizzly from the 80s that were a similar vibe, except not like funny. It was just more schlocky B, low grade movie, but at least it was a real bear. So it's different, but I understand nowadays this is what you're going to get.
Yeah, but I thought Kerry Russell was great. I liked Ray Liotta when he finally entered the frame. I guess it's not spoilers, but I liked the part where the sheriff or the cops on the roof of the gazebo, and the bear falls asleep and falls on a particular person, and he's stuck under there. I loved the whole damn thing, even the end. So yeah, it was a great time. It's something I needed at the moment. Like after we went through a stretch of just crap movies and trying to find stuff to go see in the theater, this hit every note and just filled my heart with joy and made my pants nice and tight. So good on you, Elizabeth Banks.
All right, Chris, where did you land with Cocaine Bear? Bricks heavy?
You know what? How do I put
You're
this?
in a safe place, Chris. You're in a safe place.
I know.
We're going to have a dare meeting after this.
When I first saw this trailer, I was just like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And I knew of the original story, the real story that it's based on, that I'm just like, how are they going to stretch this moment of time into an hour and a half movie.
Yeah.
But I eat my words because they did it. And I'm not really high on Elizabeth Banks's directorial efforts.
No.
She's hit or miss with me. I like, the Pitch Perfects
Yeah.
in some way or form, but the Walk of Shame I thought was real wasted movie watching experience. But Cocaine Bear, all you need to know is the title. And
absolutely.
if you are for that premise, then this is the movie for you. Like Shane said, we had a series of movies that we're scrambling for. It's like, oh, what are we going to watch? Oh, we got to watch this. Or, oh, we have interest in this, but then it turns out to be, crap.
Right.
This was a nice palate cleanser. And yeah, it had me laughing, cringing, talk about limbs. Every time, I saw like a flop of a limb, I'm like, oh my God. I tightened in my seat. I was just like, oh my God. But we laughed at parts. We were, shocked at some of the scenes. Like I said, we're the only ones reacting.
Yeah.
The theater otherwise seemed quiet.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was just good fun, and I regret nothing. I'm glad I went to see it. Yeah, thank you. But again, I'm not sure if we want to see sequels, but we'll get into
I
that.
can't see where they would
in a while.
in that scenario.
Yeah. Even though the writer says, "Oh, I have a couple ideas." No, please
They
keep them
always
to
do.
yourself. This was a one-off. You're good.
Yeah. I don't see that. I guess I'll be me. I went in, you guys, we talked about it. We previewed the movie. We've done the whole thing. I was on board to see this movie. I was like, yes, let's do it. I will snort in the theater. I will do the whole thing. Just bring it in. Let's go. And, the movie starts with Jane playing, which is the same, common refrain song they used in Wet Hot American Summer, which is also an Elizabeth Banks movie, one of her first feature-length movies. So that's awesome. I love that parallel. I love that they brought in the the drug commercials from the 80s in there to kind of tie into what was going on and use that kind of footage from the 80s of like the news footage and everything else, and really brought you in with that. I thought this movie was a bit too... I didn't think it was as funny as I was going to hope it was going to be. And like, there are some scenes that I think are amazing. Like, I will say my favorite one, Shane said one of the, like the kids in the beginning with the drugs and stuff was funny, very funny. But like, my favorite is the whole ambulance thing arriving and then all the way to the face plant at the end of it. That whole sequence, I was like, this is what the movie should be. This is incredible. I was all the way in. But then there's like an hour and 15 minutes of the rest of the movie, and I think they just had too many characters. Like, it just had way too much going on. I did enjoy like you said, Shane, too, I enjoyed the Isaiah Whitlock on the roof thing, that whole exchange going on there. So, but there's like the stuff with Ray Liotta and his son and that whole thing, and like dealing with grief and him being a widow, and the son/grandsons like just left somewhere in St. Louis somewhere, like that whole thing. A lot of the actual drug operation stuff it didn't know what to do. It didn't know how hard to go. It kind of just was there and like was just used when it needed to be. But the bear looked pretty good most of the time for being, again, a CGI thing. You could tell. I like that they used like, the whole, like an actor, with the apparatus, like the ping pong balls attached or what have you. From what I saw, like a little featurette, the guy actually had, his eyes were exposed, but he had an actual snout and everything as part of his suit, so they knew kind of like where to go with the bear and what to do. So, and he's on top of it. Like when, he slammed on top of somebody on the door, That's him in his face. Can you imagine another human being with a snout on their face on you, and you're supposed to be in fear as opposed to laughing your ass off? That's amazing. But
Was
to
it
me,
played by Sean Gunn?
No, that would be even better to me. But yeah, it's a movie that I went in high hopes. I was like, this is going to be great. And I thought it was fine. And I had a good enough time. But it's not like as bad as, or as thin, which is weird to say about Snakes on a Plane. I thought actually this had too much going on. I think Kerry Russell and the kids and everything, like, that was great. Like, keep doing that. Keep it streamlined. But I think they just kept adding and adding and adding, trying to pad for time and for jokes and other things. And I think it just kind of lost itself to where the ending, you're sitting there with a series of characters and you're not exactly rooting or knowing which way to go. So it just kind of ends. So it didn't have like a strong through line, but again, there was enough entertainment that kept me going through the movie, but it just wasn't as good as I hoped. But, I still would say, like, yeah, go, have a good time, do what you guys did, do what we all did, and went to go see this movie. It already is a success.
Yeah, I didn't mind the Ray Liotta background stuff, and I think they put that in there. Again, I didn't like all the Han Solo emotional baggage kind of stuff. I understand why they may have done that, because he doesn't want his father's life. He doesn't want to do that stuff anymore. He has a good heart. And I think they put that stuff in there because they're really fumbling second-rate drug dealers. And I think that's what highlighted those characters. Yeah. Except for maybe the O'Shea Jackson character, which I may say, and I don't mean to like pile on to a guy, but talk about piling on. Do you guys notice he's piling on the LBs, man?
Big.
Like,
hey, man.
He's getting a little big, is all I'm saying. But
COVID was tough on all of us, Shane. Come on.
Yeah, I know. I didn't mind it as much as I think you did, except for the Han Solo backstory. I'm like, we didn't need all that, but I didn't mind. Really didn't mind the other stuff because you knew they were gonna like Kerry Russell's group at the end was gonna cross paths with the drug dealers and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I guess I didn't mind it as much as you.
There was the tough part is that, especially, and Chris will be able to acknowledge at least in some way, the trailer had all the funny stuff, like, or most of the funny stuff. So like, I wish that I didn't see. I wish they kind of just knew the audience to be like, the movie's called Cocaine Bear. Go see Cocaine. Like, that they didn't need to do this big package trailer, which of course they all do. So I'm not blaming them. They won, right? Like, they got, $23 million this weekend. They got people in the seats, and people are still going to go, especially on word of mouth and everything else. So they succeeded. But to me, I think the hype, the great marketing, everything that worked for them worked a little against me in the movie because the movie didn't live up to how good that stuff was a little bit. Chris, would you say any of that? Or at least, like, are you going to just go, at least with me on the don't watch trailers, that's why I don't watch trailers thing?
Well, you have to. I really wish it was as simple as, just hear the title and go see the movie. That's it.
Yeah, it's
but
tough. Especially when it's
like,
theaters
all right,
only.
What is it going to
so
be?
Tough. Yeah.
Yeah. But, don't show a padded out trailer as you did. Don't show the ambulance thing, even though the end result was hidden until you actually saw what was going on.
Right.
But you see the bear leap in there. What else is going to happen?
Yeah.
But actually, getting back to, as Shane says, Han Solo, I will go as far as to say Alden. I swear to God, I thought it was either Emil Hirsch or it was Jack Quaid. I never saw him as Alden.
Mm.
I'm like, who is that guy? Like, I was oblivious to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, with everyone involved in it, you have really no clue other than Margot Martindale and Kerry Russell.
Right.
Those are the only like go-to names.
Yeah, Margot Martindale is just a character actress that's been around forever, like never like a prominent star. Like Kerry Russell is probably the person that you go, oh, I know her, like versus anybody else. Like
I had to tell her about Jesse Tyler Ferguson. I had to tell Melanie that I was like, oh, that's Jesse Tyler Ferguson. I go, even he looked a little heavier in that. Maybe it was the wig.
think on purpose. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just like, and as soon as he started talking, she's like, oh, that is him.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm just like, who are these people?
Yeah. I mean, but again, star-studded enough. And especially like
Oh,
you
yeah,
put
for
Elizabeth
us.
Banks out there for interviews. She's a bigger star than anybody else. I'm surprised she wasn't like a small role just to be like, come see my movie. I'm also in it for a hot minute. Like people do that a lot when you're actors turn directors all the time, when you're bigger than the movie to an extent. But at least she was front and center marketing this thing. Again, they killed it with the marketing. Like everything was great. The memes are great. I don't know if we mentioned it on the podcast, but I know we did on Pint of Comics that I saw people were bringing cocaine bear snacks where it was gummy bears with like confection sugar on it. It was amazing. Amazing. I loved everything about the experience of this movie, the thought of seeing this movie. I loved all of that just a little bit more than watching the movie. So, am I gonna maybe watch again if it's just on streaming or something, have on the back? I might. It should be a rewatchable movie, but I wonder, because we'll get into this a little bit. Shane, I'll ask you because we were talking about it a little off air. So we talked about the similar movies to this. I mentioned Snakes on a Plane, which at least has like a hook of a Samuel L. Jackson catchphrase that like lived on. I think of movies like Lake Placid where I can just see in my mind's eye Betty White getting fucking dragged by a monster from the lake. And you had mentioned some other ones. Is there like a signature scene in this thing that you just go, that's what I took away from Cocaine Bear?
Ooh, that's a good question. A singular scene?
Like something when you're like, I close my eyes when I think of Cocaine Bear. What are you seeing?
I see two scenes, but I see the ambulance scene. For like you said, that's
like
the scene.
Bear in the air.
Yeah, the bear in the air going into the back of the ambulance. That's probably the most memorable scene for me. But again, I also think the bear just falling flat onto and laying there on top of the guy.
Yeah.
Those are the two scenes that stick out. But yeah, the bear launching himself and just running 50 miles an hour after the ambulance. That was like it for me.
Yeah, and I agree. Those are the things for me too. But I think it's for everybody. It's like the same like 2 or 3 scenes, and that's what I'm saying. I wish it just had a little bit more consistency in the laughs and some other things. So, Chris, of these other movies, where would you rank Cocaine Bear? Are you more of a fan of, like we were talking about, Piranha 3D or Lake Placid or Snakes on the Plane, or if there's any other movies you could think of? Where does this one rank for you?
I would say, well, it's not as funny, but I thought of Crawl, a movie, again, I had very little faith in.
Right.
But I kept on hearing from like Shane, from everyone else saying, you got to go see this.
Right.
Yeah, it's great. You'll love it. Whatever. I'm like, I usually push off on that. I'm just like, don't tell me that it's the greatest thing. Then when I see it, and it doesn't live up to that hype, then screw you. But Crawl was one of those where it's just like, this is a goofy premise. You're getting chased by alligators. Ooh. It's during a hurricane. Ooh.
Right.
And I'm just like, holy crap, I was on the edge of my seat.
Right.
Are they going to survive? Are they going to get more limbs bit?
Yeah.
It was, I would say that's probably comparable. It's not as goofy as, say, Piranha 3D.
Mm-hmm.
Piranha 3D was a fun ride in another way. That was just like gross out, exploitive. It was going to, shock you in certain ways.
Yeah.
It's just like, I would say it leans more towards Crawl than Piranha, but it's right up there with those.
In both those movies, directed by Alexander Aja.
Yeah.
Crawl and Piranha. So there you go.
Yeah.
That was unintentional, but yes.
And this is the interesting thing. So Elizabeth Banks, we kind of like covered a little bit. I don't love her direction either. I think the Charlie's Angels thing didn't really work, and like you said, the Pitch Perfect thing is maybe more her suit, which is why I was interested in this movie, like where I thought it would have been funnier because that's more her strong suit. You would hope that it would have lent more to that, but I think it took itself just too like it had an odd tone to me where it wasn't all the way funny. It wanted to kind of be true to the like time period slash, you know, the realism of the bear and some other things that they talked about I saw in interviews. But it also, I think, in a different person's hands, that would have just been one or the other, like either more ultra violent and more over the top, or more serious to where they treated it like, oh my God, look at this crazy shit. I thought it was kind of halfway in between, and that's why I thought it was a little too meandering, a little too uneven for me to just like lock in all the way and have fun. But what do we think about Elizabeth Banks now? Like, are we higher? Do you want her to do more stuff like this? Do you think this was it's a brilliant idea. She got the pitch done and everything is great. I just wonder, because I'm less on the execution, so I'm probably on an island a little bit here. But Shane, I think, did you mention you actually liked the Charlie's Angels one? So maybe I'm even further out.
Yeah, no, I didn't hate it as much as you guys. It wasn't like, yeah, I'm gonna go and say it, and I don't care the reaction it gets. It was better than the Lucy Liu Drew Barrymore Charlie's Angels. I did like that one. I don't know why, but I
would say hers is more serious.
Yeah, it had a little more serious tone. It wasn't as jokey, but I liked Pitch Perfect. I liked Charlie's Angels. Again, not like the biggest budgeted movies, so I think she's fine in like the sandbox that she's in.
Right.
So I think I read or heard somewhere where she pitched to direct one of the Marvel movies. I think it was Thor, one of the Thor movies.
Oh,
and I'm like, yeah, I don't know how that would have went over. Yeah. So I don't know how
Probably
she
out of
would
her
do.
purse.
Yeah, with a huge budget, you know what I mean? But in this kind of pocket that she's in, I can take her. She's not the greatest, but she's not the worst. She's right there. So I kind of like Elizabeth Banks as a director, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Okay. Well, here's an interesting stat. I want to see your guys' reaction to this one. Scott Mendelson is someone I follow online. He's a critic and analyst for films, and he put out a couple of fun things. One I already mentioned about Universal just killing it. Just the silly cinema, as he called it, of Violent Night, Megan, and Cocaine Bear. Just all solid movies. Escapism, kind of like this. Just fun night at the movies, which we feel like we need more, and I actually enjoy that these movies exist. And we covered all three of those on the podcast, so we're all fans of it, or at least the thought of it in many different ways. The interesting thing I also saw him say was that Cocaine Bear sold about as many tickets on opening weekend as Snakes on a Plane, but because of the amount of time that's passed and the amount of movie like the inflation of tickets and everything else, back then in 2006 it made 13.9. This one made 23, but that's how much in 17 years inflation has gone up on ticket sales. But basically, I didn't understand Snakes on a Plane to be considered like a win. And this one, it seems like everybody's lauding it for like, wow, look at what Cocaine Bear did. Is that more of like the economy of the box office and how bad it is, especially for smaller movies, and that we're like, wow, look at this, it made $23 million? Or is it just Snakes on a Plane didn't work, so we just kind of fluffed it off?
I don't know. I would say like the the subject matter is kind of minimal. For Cocaine Bear, the premise is quite simple.
Mm-hmm.
That, as you said, there's several storylines going on with it, but really, who are you paying?
Right.
What's the budget?
Right.
I forget where they filmed this, but was it Toronto? No,
Ireland. I heard
Ireland.
They
that's
shot
right.
it.
I was gonna say it was some weird.
At least
place.
principal photography started there. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was filmed in Ireland. I don't know how that figures into the budget, but
discounts.
You're not really doing much for it.
Yeah.
The maybe the CG is a lot in the budget.
Sure.
And then everything else is like you have a TikTok star, you have friends of Elizabeth Banks.
Right.
So you're keeping all costs low.
Yeah.
So it's like a win no matter what, because people are going to be curious as to what this Cocaine Bear is about.
Right.
They're going to rush to the theater because that's the only way you're going to see it. again, the marketing campaign, people going around with their different confectionery delights.
Yeah.
And it's just as I was saying, I think I said to Shane off air, the puns of this, or the double entendres, or
Yeah.
whatever, for Cocaine Bear, they're ripe for the picking.
Sure. Oh,
It's going back and forth in our conversations. I'm like, what other lines can I parallel with this?
Sure.
See, lines.
Yeah. I was about to say,
yeah.
when Shane was sniffing, because he's like biting a car. Normally I would cut those out, but now I'm going to keep them in, hoping people think Shane's just doing lines while you're talking. So, yeah, awesome.
Well, yeah. When speaking of which, when I wanted to do the check-in of going to see the movie,
right?
My goofy sensibility is, hey, make it look like I'm on coke watching Cocaine Bear.
Yeah.
So I did that, and Melanie was just like, "You're just doing that? You're not going to have me on that?" I was like, "No, unless you want to."
Right.
And
yeah.
then she's like, "No, it's all you."
Yeah.
Like she shakes her head at my antics.
You look, it's free mirror night. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's timing too, man, because I really think if Snakes on a Plane were to come out today, with the marketing they could do for it now, I think you'd have the same impact as Cocaine Bear. Because I think it's the state in the theaters where we're at right now. We've discussed this many times. It seems like it's the IPs that make the money, along with horror movies, and this kind of falls in the horror genre, a comedy. And again, it's a simple movie. The marketing speaks for itself, like you said. It pumps it up. It gets people talking about it. And that's why I think next week it'll, of course, have a drop-off. But I don't think it's going to have a significant drop-off just because of word of mouth after the first weekend.
Yeah.
So I really believe that Snakes on a Plane came out in today's era, it would do well.
Yeah.
Again, because the marketing speaks for itself. And Samuel Jackson is, like, he was known then, but I mean, he's better known now, if you could believe it. So it's just all about timing, man.
Do you think it's wild that this got a theatrical release? I mean, Chris, I think when we first talked about the movie, you were like, this is like a half step up from, you're like, I thought this was going to go to Redbox or whatever, and kind of made that straight to DVD vibe or something. But I think it had just enough going for it, and I find it wild that Universal backed it to make this play, and it worked. Yeah,
like straight to streaming, or what is it? Like a Funny or Die sketch.
Sure.
I thought, okay, let's stretch this out to like maybe a 20-minute segment.
Right.
But no, an hour and a half was just the sweet spot for it.
It's weird now. Let me see if this tracks for you guys. In a different world, do you think if you saw like the track record of Plane and Cocaine Bear and Megan and Violent Night and some of these other movies, like, do you think it would have been conceivable that, like, hey, the Weird Al movie should have gone to the movie theaters? Like, do you think it would have made the same as Cocaine Bear? Maybe not as much, but, like, would have been enough? It's so weird that we have this pivot now to where they're all just like, screw streaming. Streaming was a bad idea. It's not lucrative enough, so we're going to put more in theaters. And then these movies easily probably would have gone to, like, Smile. Smile was supposed to be straight for streaming. They pivoted, put it in theaters, huge hit. So it's weird that we're just going to get more and more in the theaters. And it's odd that we're going to have to redefine the discussion of what's a streaming movie and what's a movie theater movie.
Well, I think as far as the Weird Al movie came out, I think that's more of his fan base made it do well for Roku.
Yeah.
If it did. I don't know the numbers exactly. But
I don't either.
I don't think the theater experience would have maybe garnered non-fans. Because like I said, Melanie didn't know anything about it until like halfway, 3/4 of the film. She's like, did this really happen? I was like, no, none of this happened.
Right.
But this is a play on all those biopics.
Right.
Where, all this grandiose stuff happened to this character and it's who they are today.
Yeah.
Like, when was the last time, like, Weird Al had a single out?
Yeah. No, that's true.
Or album out?
Yeah.
And that's why it is weird for the timing that came out.
Yeah.
But, like I said, I think it did pretty well for the Roku channel, at least.
Oh,
to
for sure.
acknowledge that, it has original content.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
never actually dug into like what the actual, if they released stats. And again, streamers are very odd. They'll be like, this was the top watch thing or something and not put numbers to it. But, we'll see. I don't know. Maybe they do have numbers that are available online. But Shane, are you excited now that these movies have now succeeded to where maybe it's going to be more Shane time at more parts of the year, or at least like you're going to get an increase during Shanuary?
Hey, buddy, you know the answer to that. That's an absolute yes, absolutely. Like, again, these movies prove there's a base of people like myself that would just go see a movie like this. There's enough of us out there, man. Like, and again, I don't know if it's just this movie was so easily marketed. Like Elizabeth thinks, like, hey, this is my pitch, man. It's gonna and just let it roll, and just people start talking about it. But there's enough of us out there who just love these and miss having these movies in the theater just to have a good time, man. Because that's what we're missing. People are now honestly getting sick of all the Marvel, DC stuff, like Fast 10, and just give us something different and fun, man. Like, let's go.
Yeah, and as long as it's like schlocky and solid premise wise, people will go see it. So I think it's a good start. At least it's a good sign for the box office. It's a good sign for audiences returning and going with stuff that is original IP stuff, like not, some, like you said, big Marvel, big tentpole thing, and able to support movies like this. I enjoyed that a lot. Let's do some scores because we're down in the end here. I'll just say, like, scores are pretty solid for this across the board. 70 Rotten Tomatoes score, 75% Rotten Tomato audience score, a 3.3 on Letterboxd, a 6.5 on IMDb, and a 54 Metascore. So for a movie like this, that you can't ask for much more than that. Chris, I'll start with you. What do you got for a score out of 5 on this one?
We're not going to do lines. Scores. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go, I would say 3. I'd say it's a solid 3 for me.
Yeah. Okay.
It was, before seeing it, I would have been like, oh man, the most I'm probably going to say is like 2.5.
Right.
But no, it was a solid 3. If you ask me any other time, maybe 3.5, but 3 is my score.
You tricky dick. Shane, yours is probably going to be the high point here. What do you got, buddy?
Yeah, I'm going higher. I'm going with solid 4. This is a solid 4 for me. Wow. Yeah, because again, I had so much fun. It's in my wheelhouse. I can watch this movie again. This is a movie that could be on a streamer, and I could throw it on in the background, go do some stuff around the house, and sit and watch a scene and go. I mean, to me, it has a high rewatchability factor for me. And again, it's my type of movie. So it's a solid 4 for me.
Yeah, I mean, I as opposed to Chris's good day, he's on 3.5. I think if I was in, I feel like I was in a good headspace when I saw it, but maybe if I was in more like a more jovial or a different state of mind, or had a few pops, something, get on there instead of being on antibiotics, I'm probably saying this movie's a 3. But probably if I'm like, if I do the cheat code of like 2.75. So I'm like right around that area. I had enough fun with it. The bar wasn't set incredibly high, but they did such a good job with marketing this. I wanted like just a little more laughs, a little more to it, especially for an hour and a half. I wanted it to be like stuffed, but but this one just seemed a little too messy, but I still had a good enough time. 2.75. So,
okay.
So that is Cocaine Bear. As Shane mentioned, this was the perfect time for it to be released because we're going to turn into IP consistency for the next 2 months probably straight. Yeah. It feels like next week is what, Creed 3, I believe. I think there's maybe more to come. Like John Wick's right around the corner. You have Shazam, the sequel there. Is there anything I'm missing?
About the guy. Yeah, don't forget about the Guy Ritchie movie that comes out next week as well. We got 2 movies coming out next week.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about like the sequel, like kind of the sequel IP
right.
stuff. But yeah, that movie's so weird. We'll have to get into that when we talk about the movie at some point. But like the fact that it was released around here a little bit, and then it went away, and then I get a press release thing saying, yeah, the big release of Operation Fortune Ruse de Guerre. I'm like, what? It was already out. What are you fucking talking about? And then now it's having a larger opening. It's all a shit show. What is it? STX? Whoever is having like weird release problems, they're having a whole thing. So that's a little weird. But yeah, we got a lot of IP stuff, a lot of big familiar characters and titles coming through. But yeah, that's it for us this week. Go ahead, do the whole thing. Give us the 5-star review. Give us, a listen, subscribe so you don't miss a thing, and come back every week. We're here every Wednesday for you. Come back next week for more recent activity.